Vishishtadvaitha Vedantacharya Varyo me Sannidhattam Sada Hridi. Let us have a quick recap of the previous lecture. We looked at the life of Kulashekara Alvar, how his initial life was as a Chera king, how he had Atyanta Rama Bhakti, immense love for Bhagavan Shri Rama, so much that once, when every time he would hear about Rama fighting, he would tell his army to get ready. For example, in the part where Kara and Dushana are supposed to be fighting Rama, they were there with 14,000 Rakshasas in Janasthana. How many people did Rama have? Well, Rama was there, Lakshmana was there, Sita was there. Sita Devi wouldn't fight. Rama fought without an army against 14,000 Rakshasas. This is the story of Ramayana. But when Kulashekar Alvar had heard that an army of 14,000 has been assembled, he immediately summoned his own army and said, let us go and fight and serve Rama. The ministers, not knowing how to bring him out of his world of Ramayana, they said, okay, we will send the army right away. They sent the army for some distance. Then the army returned and the army told him, Bhagavan Sri Rama did not need our help at all. He fought against the 14,000 Rakshasas single-handedly and he killed all of them. We went thinking we are going to serve him. However, he does not need our help at all. We are the ones who seem to be needing his help. The king was super happy on hearing these words. Likewise, when the time for Rama Ravana Yuddha came, there also Yadvar was like, we should go, we should serve Rama. Always he had this intention to serve Rama. And whenever he would listen to Ramayana, he would enter into the world of Ramayana itself. He would also perform a lot of Kainkarya to Bhagavatas. Using that as an excuse, his ministers ensured that every time the king would depart for warfare, they would bring a Bhagavata so that he would be forced to stay back and perform Kainkarya. He would be forced to perform service to the Bhagavatas and therefore he wouldn't be able to go. They did this for a long time. They prevented him from visiting Sri Rangam initially, but how long would it work? It wouldn't work forever. He eventually visited. He permanently became a saint after appointing the successor, and he composed one work in Sanskrit called Mukunda Mala and one work in Tamil called Perumal Tirumozhi. Now we will look at the story of Periyalvar. Periyalvar was another great Alvar. He is better known to the public as the father of Andal Devi. Periyalvar was an Amsha of Garuda. In Sanskrit, we call him Vishnu Chitta. In Goda Stuti, Swami Deshika, when he starts praising Goda Devi, that is Andal, he starts by invoking her father, Shri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpavalli. So Vishnu Chitta was a very great saint. Obviously, we celebrate him as an Alvar. He should have been a very great saint. He was born in the 47th year of Kali Yuga under Swati Nakshatra in the Tamil month of Ani in Shukla Paksha Ekadashi on Bhanuvasara, that is a Sunday. And he was born in Srivilliputtur, which is where his daughter Andal is also going to be celebrated. What about his family? He was born to Dvija parents. You can see in the picture that he has a sacred thread. He was born to parents who had Purva Shikha. Shikha is very important for Dvijas. Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, Vaishyas, whoever they may be, if they are to do Vedadhyayana and Vedic rituals, they need a Shikha. They also need Yajnopavita. The Shastras say, Vinayat Shikhaya Karma, Vinayajnopavitataha, Rakshasam Tadhi Vijneyam, Nishphala Sakala Kriyaha. Vinayat Shikhaya Karma. If you do any Vedic ritual without Shikha, Vinayajnopavitataha, without Yajnopavita, the sacred thread that they call Janiyu in North India, and they call it Punal in Tamil. Punul is the purer word. Without that, if you perform Vedic rituals, Rakshasam Tadhi Vijneyam, it would be counted as a Rakshasic practice, not as a holy practice. Also, Nishphala Sakala Kriyaha, all that you do would be counted as Nishphala, that is, without the fruit of the ritual. So, for example, if I perform Jyotishtoma thinking I will get Swarga, but I don't have Shikha, I don't have the Yajnopavita, what would happen? The practice that I am doing, it would not be Vedic, it would be Rakshasic. And the phala that I desire, the phala of attaining Swarga under Swarga Kamo Yajeta, that I will not get. So, Vinayat Shikhaya Karma Vina Yajnopavitataha Rakshasam Tadhi Vijneyam Nishphala Sakala Kriyaha. Therefore, it is very important to have Shikha and the Yajnopavita. This Shikha, some people would have it more towards the front. We call that as Purva Shikha. That is also a Vedic practice only. Anyway, what was the original Veda to be followed by Periyalvar? We should remember that Periyalvar was born in Kali Yuga. During the time of Veda Vyasa, Maharshi Veda Vyasa had declared that he has compiled all the four Vedas. However, he is well aware that in future, people are not going to be able to recite Vedas properly. Even people of Brahmana Varna, even those who actually try to study, they will not be able to master all the four Vedas. Today we are saying most of the Brahmanas, even those who go to Veda Pathashalas, they don't master all the four Vedas. We are saying today, Veda Vyasa knew it well in advance. Veda Vyasa was Vishnu, Sakshat Vishnu, right? Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasa, Vidhi Narayana Prabhu. So Vyasa, knowing that people would be unable to master all the four Vedas in Kali Yuga, that it would be a very, very rare thing to happen, he declared that there should be a primary Veda which is first learned by people. So, depending on your parampara, you would have a primary Veda. When performing Abhivadana, that Veda's name is told. The Shakha is also told from this Vedas, this Shakha. You first finish your Shakha, then learn the other Shakhas, complete that Veda, then go to the other Vedas. This is the prescription given to a people. So if you come from a Yajurvedi family, like Periyalvar, for example, without completing Adhyayana of Yajurveda, you should not go to Samaveda. You should not go to Rigveda. You should not go to Atharvana Veda. This is a rule, this is a convention that has been given to us by the great Maharshis. And we are following it as much as possible. Of course, many people don't learn Vedas at all. Those who learn, try to follow. So, Periyalvar, that is Vishnu Chitta Swami, he studied Yajurveda in an authentic manner. He studied the Upanishads as well. After studying the Vedas and the Upanishads, he studied the other Shastras also. He did Shastra Abhyasa. Then, most importantly, as it is said in Mahabharata, Saptaite Manasa Proktaha Rishayo Brahmana Sutaha Swayamagata Vijnanaha Nivrittim Dharmamasthitaha. In Mahabharata, Shanti Parva, this shloka comes. These rishis who came from the mind of Brahma, these seven rishis, Saptaite Manasa Prokta Rishayo Brahmana Sutaha, they are the children of Brahma, Manasa Putras of Brahma. But how did they behave? These Saptarshis, they behaved like Swayamagata Vijnanaha Nivrittim Dharmamasthitaha. So they automatically got the knowledge to perform and the tendency to perform Nivritti Dharma. In that way, in a very similar way, of course, Periyalvar is not one of the Saptarshis, but he got the natural tendency to start performing Kainkarya, to start performing Seva to Bhagavan, to start showing Bhakti. He did not have to be told to perform it. Many of us, we are told in childhood, do this, do that. Then we start doing. Sometimes, even after growing up, the mother has to ask, did you go to the temple? It is your birthday today. Did you go to the temple at least today? You don't go to the temple for the rest of the year. Go to the temple at least today. We see that happening. Kali Yuga Prabhava. But in the case of Periyalvar, he had natural bhakti. So he would naturally perform Kainkarya to Bhagavan. Bhagavan had said in Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, right? So, Patram, he would use Tulasi leaves. Pushpam, he would offer fragrant flowers to Bhagavan. In this manner, Periyalvar was performing Kainkarya. Once, in the Pandya kingdom, which had Madurai as the capital, the king of the Pandyas who ruled Madurai city. The king's name was Vallabhadeva. Vallabhadeva Pandya was ruling Madurai at that time. Once a saint came to him, and said something. The saint said something to him. वर्षार्थमष्टौ प्रयतेतमासान् रात्यर्थमर्थं दिवसं यतेत वार्धक्यहेतोर्वयसा नवेन परत्रहेतोरिह जन्मना च. This saint who happened to visit the kingdom and who was performed service by the Pandya king, he told the king, Varsharthamastau prayateta masan, to enjoy 4 months of the year. We work hard for 8 months of the year. Ratyarthamartam divasam yateta, to enjoy the night. We take all the efforts during the day. Vardhakya hetor vayasanavena, to enjoy our life during old age. What do? We take all the effort while we are young. In the same way, hey Rajan, paratraheto rihajanmanacha, for enjoying after this life, we have to take effort in this life itself. This saint was pleased with the activities of the king. The king was a very dharmic person, Vallabhadeva. However, he was not doing what was necessary to attain moksha. Therefore, the saint taught him, and he taught him beautifully by giving examples. Varsharthamashtau prayate tamasan ratriyarthamartham divasamyateta. We work for 8 months and get free for 4 months. To enjoy those 4 months, a relaxation. The Tamil months of Adi, Avani, Purattasi, and Aipasi, those 4 months. To enjoy those 4 months, what do people do? For the remaining 8 months, they do hard work. Pratyarthamartam divasam yateta, to enjoy the night, relaxing, to be comfortable at night and sleep peacefully. For that, we are working during the day. Vardhakya hetor vayasana vena. In old age, if we want to relax and enjoy life, for that, we have to work at young age itself. In the same way, paratraheto rihajanmanacha, we have to work in this life itself if we want to enjoy the time after life. When it was told in this manner to Vallabhadeva, Vallabhadeva immediately summoned the Asthana Purohita. The Asthana Purohita who was there, he was called Selvanambi. Selvanambi was called, and then Vallabhadeva Pandya asked him, what is the Parama Purushartha? Remember, when we say Purushartha, we say Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Correct? What is the Parama Purushartha? The king wants to know how to attain moksha, how to get freed from tapatraya after life. Therefore, he is asking the question. The Purohita, Selvanambi, he said he did not want to take chances. What if I say something to him and he says something else? Or what if I tell him something, but he is trying to test me because he has heard something else from some other person? Why take risk? Let us play it safe. O king, let us summon all the great scholars and then let us do Paratatva Nirnaya. Let us try to arrive at what the Paratattva is. Let them debate. Let the conclusion be arrived at. When Paratattva Nirnaya is done, the Parama Purushartha would become clear. The king thought, this is a fair idea. Let us do that. So he declared a huge prize and invited scholars from all over. At that time, some Sri Vaishnavas were asking, they were wondering, we know Bhagavat Paramya, we know that Sriman Narayana is Paramatma. But in this Raja Samasthana, is the Paratva of Sriman Narayana being put to question? They were thinking that way. They were not really sure whether they should go ahead. The king is holding a debate. At that time, after receiving the holy command from a dream, Periyalvar, Swami Vishnu Chitta, he decided to depart to Madurai from Srivilliputtur. And having gone to Madurai, having gone to Madurai, he faced all the scholars there. The scholars thought, what is this man going to do? He looks too simple. We haven't heard of him before. We haven't seen him in royal courts before. What is this person going to do? At that time, Periyalvar, he cited Purusha Sukta. So in Purusha Sukta, there is Purvanuvaka, Uttaranuvaka, correct? So citing both of that, he started giving the explanation because Purusha Sukta talks about the greatest being, right? Purusha. So having talked about the Veda, he explained the meaning of Purusha Sukta, both the Purvanuvaka and the Uttaranuvaka, by using citations from Smriti, Itihasa, Purana, etc. By showing various citations, he said, the Purusha that is being referred to here is indeed Sriman Narayana. So, as the Veda says, Tatvam Narayana Paraha, that is the truth, said the Alvar. When he gave so many citations from scriptures, everybody got convinced. Nobody was able to question him. And therefore, the Vidya Shulka that was announced as the award for the person who wins the scholarly discussion and establishes the Paratattva was awarded to Periyalvar himself. Now, the Vidya Shulka which was announced, was not really handed over to him by the king. What really happened was that as he cited all the scriptures and gave the explanation, the Vidya Shulka automatically went and fell in front of the Alvar. A bag of gold coins, let us assume. It automatically goes and falls at the feet of the Alvar. Seeing the miracle, the king, as well as everybody else, all the other scholars, they felt surprised and they fell at his feet and sought his blessings. Then the king said, "O Vishnuchitta Swami, you have done a very great help for me. Please allow me to honor you with a Gaja Yatra. That is, giving an elephant and having the person to ride the elephant. It is supposed to be a way of giving honor to the person. Even in independent India, it has happened many times. These days, it may not be happening, but until a few decades ago, this used to be the norm. So he summoned the best of the elephants and he said, "Please climb this elephant and travel through the city. Let everybody see you and seek your blessings." And the king also sent the Vadya Goshti, like how Dasharatha wanted to send a huge crowd behind Rama. Dasharatha wanted to send dancers, musicians, servants, everybody behind Rama, as Rama was going to the forest. Dasharatha had a plan in Ramayana. If Rama has to go to the forest, we are not able to convince Kaikeyi. We are not able to convince Rama. Rama will definitely go to the forest. But let us send all sorts of servants, musicians, dancers, hunters, scouts, soldiers, everything behind Rama, so that he lives a comfortable life in the forest. Dasharatha thought that way. It did not work out, but he thought that way. Likewise, seeing such a great saint who was not only a master of the Vedas, but who was honored by Bhagavan himself by making the Vidyashulka to fall in front of him, the king wanted to honor Periyalvar. So he said, "You go on an elephant, servants, dancers, musicians, all of them will be following. It would be a huge goshti." In that way, Periyalvar was going through the streets of Madurai, being honored. He was also conferred the title Pattar Biran. Remember, we say Pattar Biran Kodeshana. So, he was given the title Pattar Biran and was honored that way. But here, a question needs to be asked by us. So far, everything seems fine, but think about what happened in the kingdom. The saint who came, he could have said, "O king, you have to do Sharanagati to Bhagavan." He did not say anything like that. He said, "You have to do things to think about your afterlife as well." That is all he said. Maybe he had no need to explain further. He said this and went away. But look, the king of Madurai, Vallabhadeva, he is not aware of the Parama Purushartha. He is not aware. His Raja Purohita is also not saying it. He has to summon a sabha full of scholars and have them to discuss and debate in order to find out what Parama Purushartha is. If you think carefully, you would realize that the situation is pretty much the same even today. So many people have confusion. There are many people who don't know what they need to do itself. Right? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatataamapi siddhanam kaschin mam metti tatvatah, says Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Even among all the people who are qualified to worship me, everybody who is qualified, is everybody praying? No. Only some people try. Among them also, only some people try till the end. Correct? It is like a funnel. It decreases, decreases, decreases. The pure Bhagavata is rarest of the rare. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, says Krishna. So, it is natural that the king did not know. No big deal. But he had to summon a congregation of scholars. They had to discuss. And whoever won the debate, Periyalvar in this case, thanks to him, the king learned the Purushartha. But think about what is happening today. Despite numerous kings holding numerous such debates, we are not willing to accept. The majority of people, even those who consider themselves to be Hindus, they seem to have this confusion. What is the Parama Purushartha? What is the purpose of life? Some people say Vedas said this, Vedas said that. Should we really follow the Vedas? Whatever the Alvar proved, he proved the Vedic statement by using quotations from Itihasas, Puranas, and Smritis. Fortunately, back then, the entire Sabha was filled with believers of the scriptures. But today, that is not the case. There are people who call themselves the followers of Sanatana Dharma. Yet they say, we do not need the Vedas. Krishna also says it is not absolutely necessary to have the Vedas with you. But if you are already following what has been taught by the scriptures, you will not need the scriptures. That is what he is trying to imply in the second chapter. But we see people, on the other hand, getting unnecessarily confused in this regard. So many people think there is no need for scriptures. Even if scriptures are cited, they ask questions. They ask about the need to believe in the scriptures. Even if you somehow convince them that the scriptures need to be believed in, they would say different people interpret things in different ways. Correct? It is a fact that different people interpret in different ways. But we see today that the worst case scenario, the worst possible impact of this confusion is the refusal to accept scriptures altogether. I have seen a very, very popular man speak on YouTube and say, Oh, what is the use of studying all these scriptures? People are all divided. Smarta, Shaiva, Shakta, Vaishnava. What have they been able to achieve with the scriptures? That is why I don't study the scriptures. And I don't think anybody needs to study the scriptures. You'll just get confused and keep fighting. Well, that is not what the scriptures are really for. The scriptures are to guide us. If we don't understand the instructions properly, it is our problem and not the problem of the scriptures. The scriptures are there to guide us. Bhagavan, with great compassion, shared the scriptures with us. Great Maharshis have contributed to it. Great Acharyas have preserved it and brought it down to us. But despite all of that, it is undeniable that there are different schools of thought. As we have discussed before, there may be multiple ways to attain Parabrahman, but there might also be certain ways that do not give you moksha. For example, if you worship Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu, you follow him truthfully. Hiranyakashipu says, kill Brahmanas whenever you see them. Whenever you see a yajna, destroy it. You follow all of that, assuming you are living during his time. Would you get moksha? No, you would not. So there are truthful ways, ways that actually work, and then there are false ways, ways that do not work. People are confused between the two. Which one works? Which one doesn't work? Why does such a confusion exist in the minds of people? A short answer would be to say it is because of karma. Karma acts at multiple levels. Karma prevents people from advancing beyond a particular level. But it is karma that makes them spiritual at the first place. How exactly is it possible? Very simple. Karma is not binary. If you have done enough good karma, you would be rewarded enough. If you have done 80% good, you would be rewarded 80%. If you have done 60% good, you would be rewarded 60%. So, how much goodness comes in prarabdha karma, the phala is going to depend on the karma that was selected. Therefore, there are people who do not believe in Ishvara at all. Asatyam apratishtamte jagadahur anishwaram, says Krishna. He condemns the atheists a lot in that chapter. But then there are people who believe in an almighty but do not understand the tattva properly, like the king of Madurai. Then there are people who believe in him, but what do they really seek? That also matters. As Krishna says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritin arjuna arto jignasur artharti jnani cha bharatarshava. Four types of people worship me, O Arjuna. Bhagavad Ramanuja explains the four types. Artha is a person who has lost a specific type of wealth. Maybe he has lost a son, maybe he has lost physical wealth, maybe he has lost a job. He was working at an IT company and has suddenly been fired along with 10,000 other employees. He wants it back and therefore he prays. That is one type. Another is Artharthi, a person who isn't there yet, but who seeks wealth. I've just come out of college, I need a good job. I pray. I'm going to write an exam, I should score well. I pray for it. I pray that I should have a good son. All of these are materialistic desires, but these do not necessarily imply that I have lost them before. I don't have to lose wealth to pray for wealth, right? So this category is different. So this Artha and Artharthi put together, Bhagavad Ramanuja says, let us call them Aishwaryarthi. They seek Aishwarya. So they are one category. The second category is Jignasu, one who seeks Atma Jnana. But what will you do beyond the point by seeking Atma Jnana? The best that you can get is Kaivalya. And Kaivalya, as we have seen in the previous classes, is defined in Vishishtadvaitha in such a way that it is not the highest state of experience. You have Svatmanubhava in Kaivalya Sthiti. The experience of the Jiva is never going to match the experience of Paramatma. And therefore, Kaivalya is also not enough. But the last category is that of Jnani, the real scholar. That is the type of person who tries to attain Parabrahman. He understands that Paramatma is everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So Mahatma Sudurlabha. And Krishna says, he is dear to me. I am dear to him. Everything he says. He praises the Jnani. Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta. So these types of people are there. So even if you become a theist, even if you start believing in the scriptures, you might still get confusion. Correct? Should I really pray for moksha? Moksha is something that will come at the end of the life. Right now, I'm hungry. I don't have food to eat. I don't have money to buy food. Should I be thinking about what I need right now to survive? Or should I be thinking about what is going to happen to me after death, supposedly? Hmm? Hey, Bhagavan, give me some money. There are people who pray that way. So, even if you know the Parama Purusha, understanding the Parama Purushartha and traveling in that direction is not easy. So there are many components towards it. Understanding that there is Purusha itself, that Deha is different from Atma. Understanding Parama Purusha. Because if you seek Parama Purusha, you will get moksha. If you seek yourself, you will get, at best, only Kaivalya. Because you, the Jiva, is imperfect. Whereas Parabrahman is perfect. That is how we take it. Now, this Parabrahman, so Purusha should be known, then Parama Purusha should be known, then Parama Purushartha should be known. This is why the king, Vallabhadeva Pandya, asked his Raja Purohita, Selvanambi, what is Parama Purushartha? And the Nambi said, let us have a congregation of scholars. Let them start discussing and debating. When the Paratattva is well established, accordingly, the Parama Purushartha will be known to us. What is the Paratattva? Some people say Kubera is the greatest. He gives all the money. Some people say the king himself is the greatest. In front of me, he is there. Some people say my parents are the greatest. Some people say there is no such tattva. There is nothing called Paratattva. It is all just an imagination. There is no tattva. There is no Atma. There is nothing. The traditional Madhyamika Buddhists spoke that way. The later Madhyamika Buddhists changed there as well. But anyway. So, different people would teach different things. All of them would have to discuss and debate and find out. Today also the same thing is happening. It is not really necessary for us to organize debates or go and debate and say, I will wait till I find out by myself. Recently, I came across one book where the author talks about self actualization. He says these are people who are spiritual, but not religious. And also, these are the people who are not taught to be spiritual, they are automatically spiritual. These kinds of people, they come with an inherent problem in reality. Being spiritual is a good thing, but because their spirituality is not grounded in a strong base, such as the scripture, such as Guru Parampara, such as the Shastras, therefore, for that reason, their spirituality often fails to lead them far away. They might be able to do what is necessary for the 4 months of the year. They might be able to do perfectly what is necessary for the night. They might be able to do perfectly what is necessary for old age. But to get Sadgati, to get the Nishreyasartha after the life here, what should we do? Is being spiritual enough? It is not enough. We have to follow the scripture. We have to follow the Guru Parampara. If we are super confused, let us at least follow what is commonly said between all the sampradayas. Like, for example, where Adi Shankaracharya said, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Nobody is going to question that. So let us do that. This is the way we should go forward if we are in doubt. But in the ideal case, we should not have any doubt. We should have complete faith in Bhagavan and the Acharyas and the Guru Parampara and the scriptures. We should have complete faith. Confusion should not exist. If confusion exists in our minds, we should submit ourselves to the scholars, to the authentic people. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. We should do pariprashna to them. Ask them appropriately. Then, upadekshyanti te jnanam, jnaninah tattvadarshinaha. Those scholarly people will give us the knowledge that we need to get Nishreyasartha. So Periyarvar did that. He taught about Paratattva and therefore clarified about Paramapurushartha. And everybody surrendered to him, seeing that he is not just a scholar, but also has divine acceptance. The story of Periyarvar is not even half as popular as the story of Andal. Andal was an incarnation of Bhumi Devi herself. Therefore, it is natural that she is very popular. But Periyarvar himself was a very, very great person. He explained in detail about the Divya Dampati, about Sriman Narayana and Shri Devi. Vaikunthe tu pare loke Shriyasardham Jagatpati. Shri Devi and Jagatpati Sriman Narayana. About both of them, he explained and taught to the city of Madurai. Bhagavan got pleased with the Alvar. He got so pleased that he decided to give darshan to Periyalvar. How did Bhagavan appear in front of him? Along with his Devi, along with Sri Devi, along with Bhushana. well decorated, well attractive. Bhagavan is already all attractive. He does not really need any kind of ornaments to make himself attractive. Yet he wears ornaments to show who he is. Then he carried the Divya Yudhas. Again, does he really need weapons? Paramatma doesn't need weapons to do anything. Yet he has weapons, he carries weapons. They also add beauty to him. He is the one who gives strength to even the weapons. So, with his Devi, with his Bhushanas, with his Ayudhas, and with his Parijanas, with the attendants, the Nityasuris, they are all coming. With all of them, he is coming. He is traveling on the Garuda with all of them. All of them appear in the sky. And Bhagavan gave darshan to Periyalvar. The Alvar saw everything. When he saw it, he got down from the seat on which he was sitting. He got down and the bells that were there nearby, he used the sound from the bells to create music, to create tala, with which he would perform Mangala Shasana to Bhagavan. He would compose the famous Pallandu Pallandu verse, which is celebrated and even recited by Shri Vaishnavas every day. He composed that. Now, this verse has something very special. Usually, we pray to Bhagavan. We say, please give us this, please give us that. Please give us your blessings. But what Periyalvar has done in this verse is that he has given blessings to Bhagavan. He is giving blessings to Bhagavan. How is this possible? Bhagavan is the one who gives blessings to everybody. He is the one who has given knowledge to everybody. He is the one who creates, protects, and destroys everybody. He should be the one who is blessing us. This person, supposedly a great Vedic scholar, a scholar of Itihasas, Puranas, and Smritis as well, a person with divine acceptance, such a person is going and giving blessings to Bhagavan. How is this fair? Or how is this even logical? We will see that in the next lecture. For now, if you have any question based on today's class, please let me know.
Hello.
Yes.
I have not really a question, some clarification for my own mental clarity.
Okay.
First one is regarding scriptures. Like,
Hmm.
for example, if you take Bhagavad Gita, what is the necessity to keep on reading that repeatedly? In addition to listening to discourse, I
Hmm.
just wanted to know because everybody recommends you should keep on reading repeatedly.
See, reciting the Gita is it is not necessary. It is just that it is very divine, and as you recite it, you will get all sorts of good phalas. Therefore, they say keep reciting the Bhagavad Gita. Is it really necessary to recite the Bhagavad Gita? No. It is not given to us as a Nitya Karma or Naimitika karma. It is not presented to us in that way. It is not handed down as a rule to us to recite the Gita. So it is not a necessity, but reciting the Gita has various benefits. Each chapter of the Gita has specific benefits. Reciting Bhagavad Gita will give you calmness of the mind, it will give you punya, it will take you closer to Bhagavan. It has n number of benefits, like how we say for Vishnu Sahasranama, so many benefits are there. Bhagavad Gita also, so many benefits are there. Reciting it has,
Oh,
listening to it also has phala, even if you can't recite. But it is not mandatory. It is not absolutely necessary for you to recite it every day. If you
okay.
are already reciting something else in its place, even that would give you the phala, right? Like, can
Thank you.
I'm not, I
Second,
will not
second
say that.
question is,
Yes, please go.
in the context of karma, all the teachings say you should renounce the fruits of action. How do you really renounce the fruits of action?
See, renouncing the fruits of action, as far as Vishishtadvaitha is concerned, it will say that you have to do karma phala tyaga, and that tyaga implies that you are surrendering it to Bhagavan. Naham karta, Hari karta. Hari is the karta, he is the doer, not me. I am not the doer. He is only making me to do it. Bhagavaneva svaniyamya swarupasthiti pravritti. In that way we say. So Bhagavan himself, idam karma karayati. This karma he is making me to do.
So whatever we do, we should keep that kind of a mental poise. Is it?
Yes, of course, we should do only good things.
Of course, that is understood naturally. Yes, that you have already emphasized and made it very clear.
Yes. So we should do only good things. And whenever we do, we should think that Bhagavan is only making us to do.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Any other question? I'm sorry, my throat has not been in good shape today. So maybe, but my voice was not so good, or I wasn't able to speak so fluently today.
No, it was very good. No problem. Thank you.
श्रीवत्सं प्रश्नोदिकोस्तुभस्य श्रीवासराघव गुरोस्तमे विद्यावाप्य बुधोत्तमतां प्रधानं कुर्वैस्ताः हृदिगुरुं करुणाकराख्यम्. Thank you for attending. Narayan.